Hey, Sean here, and in this video I'm going to go over 7 simple ways that you can keep your website fresh. Now, keeping your website fresh has a number of benefits. For one, it can help the credibility of both your website and your company in the eyes of prospects and even your current clients. On top of that, it can give your website a little boost in search rankings and drive more traffic to your website that can lead to more leads, sales, and customers. In fact, companies that blog or tend to update their website see on average a 67% more leads than companies that don't. So as you see, keeping your website fresh can increase your bottom line, and that's why I want to help you with this video to go over these 7 simple ways to keep your website fresh that you can start applying once you finish watching this video. Alright, let's dive into those 7 simple ways that you can keep your website fresh, starting with number 1, which is to start blogging on your website. Now, adding a blog to your website and blogging on your website is an amazing way to keep your website fresh. And most of us, we already have a system in place on our website to do this, and those of you that don't, you can usually easily get a platform added to your site and start doing this. So once you have that, your next step is to plan out a schedule. You want to be consistent on this, and I would even suggest as far as how often to do this once a week and even up to daily. Doing it daily does sound like a daunting task, but it has way more benefits to keep your website fresh and to help generate more traffic, and it's definitely a noticeable difference between doing one a week to doing one a day. So with that, once you get your routine going in, if you're doing daily, it does get easier. At first, yes, it may seem a little daunting. All right, with that, if you're having some trouble or you just want to know how do I get started with that, we did put a video together on that, and I'm going to put a link in the description to that video on some easy steps to get you started on blogging. All right, now with that, let's move on to number 2, which is to add your most recent blog post to your homepage and other key pages. Now, this is great to keep your website fresh, because if you're already blogging or you're just starting to blog and you add this to your homepage or the other pages of your site, you really don't have to do anything extra. And what I mean by this is adding a little section to your homepage or other key pages on your site that automatically updates with your top most recent, maybe your most recent 3 blog posts or 5 blog posts that you did, and it just automatically adds not the whole blog post, but little excerpt of the blog post, or even just the title with a cool little picture of your post, and that way somebody can click on it and then go and read the full article or post that you published. So what's great again about that is that you can have this automatically do it, so you don't have to do anything extra, and it just keeps your site fresh and keeps people engaged when they come onto your website. All right, with that, let's move on to number 3, which is to add your social media accounts to your homepage or other key pages. Now, this is very similar to what I just talked about with the blog post, but with this, you want to add your most recent posts on your accounts such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and add a little section on your homepage or other key pages for these social media accounts. Now, usually those places like Facebook and Twitter, they usually have a little piece of code that you can add to your site to sort of make this simple so that it automatically will update for you and you're not having to do anything extra. So again, you can just keep posting on your social media sites and then it'll show up on your website. Now, obviously, if you're not updating your social media sites often, and maybe the last time you did was months ago or even a year or more, then you definitely don't want to use this. But if you are updating and you tend to keep updating your social media accounts, this can be a great way to keep your website fresh and also to get people to like your posts on those accounts and start following you on your other social media accounts and keep your brand going in that way. All right, so there you have it with that one. Let's move on to number 4, which is to add an article section to your website. Now with this, what you can do is basically add a new section to your website for articles that you write about your industry. Now this is simple. They don't have to be super long. They can be short, or you can get more involved with them. But I would recommend, at least while you're building this up, to do at least one a week so that you can start building a library on your site. Now, if you're having trouble with writing these, another quick trick is to basically go out and find other people who wrote articles for their website and maybe write a similar topic, or even just write your opinion or review of their article. Now, you don't want to copy and paste their article to your website because that would be plagiarism. But if you write a review or an opinion on it and then link to their article, that would be totally fine. All right, with that in place, then we're ready to move on to number 5, which is to add a support section to your site. Now, this is a really cool one because you don't actually have to create anything new or, as far as content for your site. Instead, what you do is add a section to your site, and every time you answer a support question to one of your clients or prospects, and it doesn't have to be, even via your website. I'm talking about if someone asks you a question, even in person or via email or on the phone, you just note down or copy down the question that they asked, and then you copy the answer that you gave and then add that to your website. Now, over time, this section will build, and you can even have maybe subsections in it where you have different topics that you're answering certain questions on. And this is great because it quickly, over time can keep continuing to build your, website fresh content. And you can also use this as a resource for your company because maybe other people, I'm sure, will ask some of those same questions, and then you can direct them to this section of your site. So there you have it with that. With that, we're ready to move on to number 6, which is to periodically update your content on your website. Now, with updating that, I mean going through your website and looking at the pages on your website and assessing if it meets what you're currently doing. Now, for a lot of us, our companies aren't a static thing. They change over time, and even some of the products and services we offer change, or the details of them change. Now, with that, your website should also be reflective of that and should change over time and reflect what you're doing. So I would suggest quarterly going through, at least then going through your website and just looking at the content and making sure it's up to date. All right, good. With that one, let's leave you with the very last one, number 7, which is to add testimonials to your website. Now, this is a great, easy one. Again, you don't have to really create any content for this. What you're doing is just adding testimonial sections to your website. I would suggest putting on your homepage and other key pages, and then you just copy and paste those testimonials as they come in. You can copy and paste them from other review websites, and even if you want to sort of automatically have this happen for you, you can add usually little pieces of code onto your site that will automatically pull these from those review sites for you. And there you have it. You'll have fresh content on your site. And one other added bonus with this one is that testimonials do help sell your products and services. In fact, if you think about it, when you go to Amazon and you don't know about a product and you're not quite sure, what's the first thing that most people do? They look at the reviews of that product. How many stars did it get, and what did the people say about it? And the same thing goes for your services and products. So it's a great way to sort of help back your services and products on your website and give them more credibility, and then also keep your website fresh. All right, with that, that's those 7 simple ways to keep your website fresh. I also want to give you something for free. In the description of this video, there is going to be a link to a free evaluation where I can go through all of these points for you and help you assess what you can do for your website to keep it fresh. So take advantage of that, click that link, and go through and get that free evaluation. Now, if you're on YouTube, make sure you click and give us the thumbs up, and then also subscribe to our channel here and click the bell icon so you get notified every time we give out one of these awesome videos. Until then, I wish you the best with making your website content fresh.